Hello, my name is Matthew Evershed. I'm the Managing Director here at Trigiene, and today we're in Trigiene's handpiece service centre, and we're going to be demonstrating the setup of the W&H Piezomed unit, which is a modular unit that fits onto the implant med. So we'll be just doing a very brief demonstration on how to actually set it up correctly and explaining some of the features. But the Piezomed is specifically for use as an alternative to using rotary instruments. It's obviously a lot kinder to soft tissue, and it's 10 times more comfortable for the patient using piezo as opposed to rotary. So I'll just explain some of the items that we've got here. We've obviously got the wireless pedal, which I'll be demonstrating on the worktop with my hands. We've obviously got the coolant and the irrigation tubing. We've got the supports here for the handpieces. We've got the implant med. We've got two metal supports. We've got a selection of tips and the tip wrench. Here we have the implant med motor, and here's the Piezomed handpiece, and then we've got the two wires. So the first thing to do is we want to take our implant med and the Piezomed and get them connected. And to do that, we just very, very carefully turn them upside down. So I'll put that upside down on the worktop there, and that goes upside down on the worktop there. And then they'll very easily clip into place. So that's now connected. We just want to make sure the wire is properly located into the slot on the back. And this here is normally where the dongle is for the wireless foot pedal. So you obviously remove the dongle and you plug in your Piezomed module. And there's a little arrow on the top which matches up with the top of the socket. So that's our implant med and piezo module all set up, connected. The next thing we want to do is insert our coolant support, and there's another metal rod which has a little nib on the side which goes in and locks into place on the Piezomed. Now this just gives us additional support for our handpieces. So what I'll do is I'll actually put these two handpiece supports onto this wire rod. And that means I can keep my two handpieces on one side of the machine and my irrigation on the right hand side. So this cable here with the transform is specifically for the Piezomed, and I won't actually switch it on until we've got it all plugged in. So the Piezomed cable just goes into the back of the Piezomed at that point there. Next we want to connect our implant med, and the implant med plug goes directly in the back here. So we haven't switched anything on yet, but we're just going to plug in our piezo handpiece and our implant motor. So with the piezo handpiece, I'll just rest it on there so it's nice and safe. And the plug has got a little red dot on the top of it, which matches up with the red dot on the Piezomed, and it fits very securely and clicks into place. The same with the implant med motor. So again, we want to put that safely on the holder, and we've got a red dot on the top of the plug. Now the plugs are different, so you can't mistake which plug goes into which socket. They will only fit the correct way round. Next we want to set up our irrigation. Okay, so we've got irrigation and we've got our irrigation line. We want to just shut off the irrigation to make sure that no water comes through as we're setting it up. And we can hang that up. Now on your irrigation tube, you've got this section just here, which is a little bit softer, which is specifically for the periostatic pump. And to get to the pump, you just unclip here and you clip this tube in between the two notches on the back door of the pump. So that's in place like that. And then we can snap that shut and into place. The next thing to point out is that we've got a Y splitter here. Now I haven't set up the irrigation line for the motor because we won't actually be using that today, but if we were using the motor and the piezo handpiece, which is obviously the advantage of having this module is that you can switch between the two, then obviously you'd have your separate irrigation line here, and then you can switch between the two different lines when you need to. So next we want to connect our irrigation line to the Piezomed handpiece, and on the back of the handpiece here we've got the irrigation tube, and we just simply connect that. That's connected. What we want to do is keep the irrigation line nice and tidy, so we've got these little clips on the wire and we can clip them into place all the way down the tube. So now we're set up, we've got our foot pedal and we just need to switch it on. Now when the implant med first starts up, you've got this green bar that progresses across the screen at the bottom here, which just indicates it's starting up, setting itself up. We obviously need to make sure that we unlock the irrigation tube so that water can flow through. Okay, so we're ready to start getting set up with the Piezomed. So there's a question on the screen here, switch coolant supply. So we obviously want to make sure that our coolant supply is switched correctly so that the water comes through to the Piezomed. And then we've got another question, the coolant supply. Do you want to activate the coolant filling function? Now what this will do is it will start pumping the irrigation all the way through to the handpiece, because we don't really want to start work with no irrigation. So what we'll do is we'll get one of the tips into place. And we've got a selection of tips here. And the beauty of this machine is it will detect which tips you're putting onto the handpiece and provide the correct amount of coolant and the correct power. So I'm just going to tighten that to one click to ensure that it's securely on there. Now we've got this question, do you want to activate the coolant filling function? And yes we do, because we want to make sure that water's coming through to the tip. So we tick yes. And what that does is it just makes sure that the water is fully filled up right the way through to the tip. Okay, so we're now ready to use the Piezomed. The water is all the way through to the handpiece. Now, if we want to change the tip, very, very simple. And again, the unit unit is detecting a different tip and will provide us with the correct amount of water and power. This function, you can override this function, but obviously it's very, very handy. Now, just to explain a little bit about the foot pedal, obviously this is your go and stop. This button here we don't use for the piezo mode simply because it is entirely for the motor, forward and reverse, so we don't need to use that. This green button here will increase or decrease the amount of water. So currently it's quite low. If I give it one click, it's a little bit more. Another click, a little bit more. It will tell you each time what the percentage is of the water that's coming through. The orange button here is to switch between the piezo and the motor. Obviously, this is normally on the floor. It's very, very handy to have your hands free and just simply be able to switch over to the motor. So when we click the orange button, you have to hold it down for some time, 2 or 3 seconds. And this question on the screen, or this comment on the screen, is just reminding you to make sure that you switch your coolant supply back over to the motor mode so that the water obviously goes to your handpiece. And really, it's as simple as that. Nothing much else to explain. Very, very simple. Fantastic bit of kit. Obviously, if you've already got an implant med, it's fully ready to take the Piezomed module onto the side. All of these W&H products, as a distributor of W&H, all of these W&H products are available from Trigiene, and the team here are happy to help. Thank you.